We're going to talk about things that nobody else will. Success leaves clues. And if you're going to make the same mistakes you made when you were a teenager, then you if you want to get good at something, you've got to sharpen your sword. We're going to smash this. This episode of the Little Bricks podcast was sponsored by Viral Effect. We're so grateful to Viral Effect for sponsoring this episode. A fantastic social media and marketing expert based in Teesside. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate your support. Hiya, Richard.
You okay?
Absolutely brilliant, mate. Yeah, so for everyone, Richard Kilty, Olympic silver medalist, world champion. Welcome to the Little Bricks podcast. We're absolutely over the moon to have you, mate. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, so your achievements, mate. Just list off what your achievements are, because I'm extremely proud as your cousin, and I think I know the town's very proud of you. What are your achievements, mate? What have you done in sprinting and athletics?
Yeah, in sprinting, world champion at the 60 metres, double European champion over the 60 metres, Commonwealth Games champion, captained my country at the World Championships in 2019, European record holder, which is the fastest British team in the history of Europe, the fastest quartet in history of Europe. That's the fastest British team. We broke the record, which had Linford Christie, John Regis, all of them, current crop of sprinters, our team, Adam Jamili, Zarnell, myself, to Nathaniel Mitchell Blake. We're the fastest quartet in European history. And more recently, just won an Olympic silver medal in Tokyo, just 3 weeks ago now.
What was that like?
That was absolutely unbelievable to actually bring an Olympic medal home. From the day that you realise that you want to be an athlete, the ultimate, the pinnacle of your sport is to become an Olympian and then win an Olympic medal. So that's the dream every kid starting athletics has. And then to actually finally stand on the Olympic podium was absolutely incredible. And just the moment of being out there and competing in the Olympic Games, the thrill of the preparation after Rio, missing a medal, 5 years of hard work, and to finally have a success. I know we lost the gold medal by 1,000th of a second. That was very heartbreaking, but once the dust settled, we're Olympic silver medalists, and that's amazing.
Amazing, yeah. Do you think it made, as a spectator, and obviously a massive fan of yours, I think it was the most special Olympics ever because of COVID, because the world sort of come together through it. Did it feel like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think with the everything which went on last year, when we heard the news, when we were all in lockdown, it was difficult for everybody in the world. And everyone had their own struggles. And when we realised that the Olympics wasn't going ahead, and they said they were going to postpone it for a year, even the last 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, we were all thinking, is it really, really going to go ahead? And we weren't overly certain whether it was going to or not. So when we actually landed and when you actually got selected initially for the Olympics, you're like, wow, we're going to the Olympics. And then once you're on the plane there, and we actually got into Tokyo, we're like, wow, this is real. The Olympics is going ahead. And it was quite a surreal moment. And I think it was definitely a special Olympic Games, one that'll be remembered forever.
Yeah. I mean, your life's just, which we're going to talk about in a moment, but your life's just full of challenge and obstacle and adversity. And you've become quite the expert at batting them out the way and just marching forward.
Yeah.
You nearly never made the Olympics. A lot of people won't even know, right?
Yeah, it was very, very, very tough this year. I had December. I had a double shoulder surgery, so my rotator cuff tore off, and I completely tore the labrum, which is above the ball and socket. So my shoulder went to the thickness of my wrist. It was tiny. I was running in Dubai we were out there in a training camp in January. I was running with one arm. I actually used to have to pin my arm up and strap it round, and I'd be running up hills. I'd be running up the Teesside Park bypass, in the cold winter. Went up to Dubai on a training camp, like I said, and tried to do as much as I can. And then as soon as the shoulder kind of was almost ready, I had a grade 2C hamstring tear, so my hamstring completely tore. then recovered from that, and I had sinus tarsi syndrome in my ankle, which creeps back now and again. I sprained my ankle in 2012, and every now and again I have little comeback injuries from that. Then I had an Achilles issue which popped up, and I had a really slow start to my season this year. So, for example, at the start of June, my first race when I went out to Slovakia, it was ridiculous. It was so poor. I just thought, I'm a million miles away from getting selected here for the Olympics. And then I just thought to myself, right, just keep pressing, no matter what. And I just kind of cleared my head and just tried to chip forward as much as I could in every single day. And then at the Olympic trials, 10 days before the Olympic trials, I tore my groin. I had a very small groin tear. And then I recovered from that, so I couldn't train for 10 days before the Olympic trials. And then at the Olympic trials, I won my semi-final, and then I actually re-tore the groin again in the final, which set me back another 10 days to 2 weeks. But they had faith in me, they selected me. I managed to get into the squad, which was absolutely amazing. But then again, we had 8 sprinters in the squad, and only 4 will make the strike 4 who actually get out on the track and represent Great Britain on the biggest stage of all. So to actually make it to the start line in the squad, in the strike 4, was unbelievable. And then to actually win a medal, for me, it was absolutely amazing after the year that I've had.
Yeah. Did you ever, any of them moments, the injuries, the reoccurrence of injuries, did any time you ever think, you know what, any turn back moments where you think, you think this might not work out for me, this?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's only natural. I think everybody in the world, gets moments, and I think people would be lying if they said they've never doubted, not themselves, but the situation that they're currently in and how quick you can get out of that. Yeah. Now, I'm a very, very confident person, very motivated, very determined, and but believe in myself no matter what, because I've overcome so many obstacles in my life. I thought these are just injuries. But then suddenly, once it was one after the other, and the clock was ticking. And, when it comes to the Olympic Games, when it comes to sport, when that starter goes, bang, clicks his gun. If you're not there, your history. And where, as an athlete, everything is time-based. For me, that clock ticking is everything. Yeah. How fast are you running? It's all about timing for me. How fast can I get into shape? How fast can I get from A to B? How fast can we get the relay pattern around? How fast can I run the 100 meters? How fast can I run my leg? And then suddenly, once your time's constricted and, you're laying there in hospital after a surgery and you think, right, I've got 6 months now, that gets better. Then suddenly more injuries thrown at you. Suddenly the time is running out. And I think it's in those moments of panic where you start to doubt yourself. You've just got to think, you know what, get all this information and just absolutely throw it away and think, you know what?
Definitely.
What can I do in the next 10 minutes to help me better? So in these next 10 minutes, I just think, well, if I was feeling that right, what can I do immediately to move forward? So the immediate thing that we can always do forward is get this right. That takes nothing. We might not be able to physically change our circumstances, but one thing we can immediately do is go, bang, get this ready, right? Things are against me, but also don't be against yourself. Yeah. Get this right and just be positive, because usually a lot of the harm we cause ourselves is in the mind. Definitely. So, right, we can't change them circumstances, but one thing I can change is the way I think. And right, am I going to get to bed early tonight? Am I going to take my supplements? Am I going to drink more water? Am I going to increase my protein? Yeah. Am I going to see the physio once more this week? All of them things, we can start that immediately now, and that's what I've done. And then I made it just in time. So, of course, there's definitely moments of doubt which crept in, but I eliminated them straight away and just tried to keep moving forward.
Yeah. So you're a very experienced, elite level Olympic athlete, right?
Yeah.
Do you think your lifetime experiences, Rich, because you've faced a lot of adversity, with all due respect, in your life, have they helped you become a master at dealing with adversity? And without them, do you think you would have been able to come such difficult challenges?
Yeah, I think my a lot of the character which I have now, which is I'm very relentless. I'm very fearless. I'm resilient. I'll always keep coming back no matter what. I think the environment which I grew up in and a lot of the life experiences which I had, they've hardened me and built that stronger, more robust character, what people see as in. And like everything, people only see the tip of the iceberg. They don't see what goes on below it, the hard work, the failures, the injuries, the setbacks, the financial difficulties, the environmental difficulties, people saying no, knocking you back. There's so many things what you have to overcome to actually reach the top. And I think a lot of the things which made me who I am today, which, if I believe that if I hadn't experienced the childhood what I had and some of the things that I've had to overcome, I'd have never have survived this last episode to get me to bring the Olympic medal home. No way. Now, yeah, I would have always had the ability. I would have always worked hard, but I do believe that a lot of people would have cracked or given up in the position I was in. And I think a lot of that is down to some of the things I experienced as a child.
Yeah. What's most important for an Olympic athlete, an elite level athlete? Because I've got my thoughts on business, and I think sport is transferable to life. And similar with family, from the same area, similar upbringing, similar people, which is why we're also mates.
Yeah.
But I genuinely think in our industry, I'm mentally tougher than all of them. All my rivals, competitors, I'm just tougher than them, and I can outwork them, I can outlast them, and that's it. I think that that's my absolute unshakable self-belief in myself. But I definitely wouldn't have had that if it hadn't been for some of the shit I put myself through and some of the things that life threw at me. What's more important for an athlete, mind or the physical?
Well, I think your mind, because let's just say in sport, we all grow up doing, apart from God bless the people who are physically not able to do so. We've seen some of the miracles that have happened in the Paralympic Games, how some people can do magical things with the cards that they're dealt in life, which is absolutely inspirational. But, the majority of people can run, boys and girls all over the world are now doing sports and things, and talent is a baseline thing. A lot of people are very gifted. Most people have got a talent in something. But what separates that natural God-given talent, whatever it is that you bless that man, was to be able to run fast naturally. If you want to go further than that, it's all in your mind and in your heart. So it's basically, how much bottle have you got to get up on the morning, get yourself to the track, run yourself into the ground where you're vomiting and you can't do no more. Go home, sleep right, eat right, think right, get back up the next morning and go and do it again and do it again and do it again and do it again and do it again. And then you fail and you get injured and you get beaten in your races, but you don't get up, you do it again, you do it again. If you keep climbing them ladders, taking them big steps, you find yourself absolutely sky high. And like you said, it's the exact same thing, never giving up, having that robustness, relentlessness, just to keep bettering yourself no matter what. Right, we're doing amazing, okay, very good, celebrate it temporarily, what's next? Bam, 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 keep stepping up. And I think the mind's your most powerful weapon.
Yeah. With your challenges you face then, right? Same area, family. I think there's thousands of other kids, millions probably across the UK, but thousands in Teesside obviously had the same childhood, but not many reach. Well, I don't know anyone from Winnie who's been an Olympic silver medalist and a world champion. What was your childhood and what's your backstory, Rich? Because a lot of people, they won't know the struggle you faced to get there.
Yeah, I was born in Winnie, lived there till I was 5 years old. A lot of just a typical council estate. Growing up, one of the toughest council estates in Teesside at the time, Winnie. And but obviously produced a lot of successful people, great, amazing community. But very humble, to say the least. And growing up as a kid, we ended up moving around school to school, area to area, actually through a few personal difficulties, which I don't really want to delve into. We actually ended up living in homeless hostels a few times in our life. Lots of my friends, family, 20 years, 15 years, prison sentences, life in prison. friends hung themselves in prison, committed suicide in prison. Just growing up on a lot of different tough council estates in Teesside, and growing up around a lot of crime and negativity. There were some of the challenges I faced, and I even almost went down that slippery slope myself a number of times. And just environmental things. Sometimes when you grow up in the council estates, like many of us did, or rougher areas, sometimes you fall down a slippery slope, which is sometimes unavoidable. And I nearly fell down that, and went down the wrong route myself a lot of times, and had a few narrow misses and almost threw my career away. And it was always the dream of becoming a professional athlete, to change my life completely, to be able to make a better life for myself. And sport was my way out. I literally used athletics as a way to make a better life for myself, and now a better life for my family, for my wife, for my son.
Yeah. Had it not been for sport, because I can speak for myself, and my sport is insurance.
Yeah.
Had it not been for sport, is there a possibility you may not be here, or you might have took went over the dark side? Because I'll quite categorically say we're very different people, of course. I'd be dead if I hadn't found life insurance, and I would be dead. I dread to think what I'd be doing if I hadn't been blessed by the insurance gods. Similar for yourself with sport, Rich?
Yeah, I would say if it wasn't through athletics, my life had been a pretty dark one, to say the least. I think I always wanted to change my life. I always wanted to be better. I always wanted to be comfortable. I always wanted to make money. I always wanted to change the situation I was in. And with there not being many opportunities in the environment that I grew up in, I would have done anything I could to make a way for myself. And sometimes that would mean, a very dark path. And I would say, if it wasn't through sport, my life would have been a pretty bad one. Potentially, who knows? And
who knows?
Don't have to say more.
Are you a man of faith, Rich?
I am, yeah. I am. I've always had a lot of faith. I grew up when I grew up in Stockton. We used to have the Tabernacle Church where I actually got married, and Sarah Toop and John from there, they always, we were naughty kids. It was a rough area, the old Garvey estate in Stockton, which has been demolished now. And we had a lot of talent from there, but then a lot of my friends from there are now in prison or addicts or dead. There's a number of bad stories from there. And we used to go to the church very regularly. And I'm definitely a man of faith. I'm a big believer. I'm so blessed that I've been given the God-given talent of being able to run fast. Mm-hmm. And that's been a massive blessing for me. And it's been my way to create a better life for myself.
Yeah. So we talk about faith then. I believe in the law of attraction. I think we can think things and speak things into existence. I watched a YouTube video with Bob Bowman, who was Michael Phelps' coach, and he says that Phelps, this is fucking blew me away, right, Rich? He said, amazingly, he was nowhere near the most physically talented swimmer in them races when he won. Was it 8 gold medals in one Olympics did he win? But he said he's the greatest manifester of things he's ever seen.
Yeah.
Do you believe in the law of attraction? Have you manifested things into reality yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I even remember I've got a video which my dad recorded when I was 11, and I'm sat on my settee in the house, and he videos me and he says, "Right, Richard, what do you want to achieve?" And I said, one day I want to become English schools champion. I want to be the fastest schoolboy in the country by the time I leave school. And then I want to go on to the Olympic Games. I want to be a world champion. I want to become a professional athlete. Yeah. I want to become one of the fastest men on the planet. And I haven't watched that video back probably for 8 years now, and I've achieved so much in the last 8 years that I haven't really brought myself around to watch it, but I'd probably be very emotional watching it. And above my bedroom wall, on my ceiling, sorry, I used to have written every year my targets, what I wanted to do. So as soon as I'd wake up, I'd see them every day. And I used to talk to my teachers when my teachers used to tell me, you know, when you're older, you're not going to have no nice cars, you're not going to have no flat screen TVs, you're going to end up going to prison, you're going to be this, you're going to be that, you're going to be worse. So I said, no, I'm going to be a world champion, I'm going to be the best in the world, I'm going to go to the Olympic Games. And I used to speak it that much and think about it that much that it's just incredible. It's just, it's quite bizarre sometimes to think, how did I even have the cheek back then? It's just like a little toe rag to actually believe and have the cheek that I was going to achieve them things. And it's just funny how life goes, isn't it, if you believe in yourself?
Yeah, it is. Do you still, I mean, I'm a massive believer in law of attraction. I'll get up every morning. I know gratitude is a very important part of your life. You're very grateful for everything. You're a very humble man. But I get up and I list my gratitude and I'll write my goals down and I'll shout them out in the mirror. And my goals are getting bigger by the year because every time I write it down and shout it out and I show gratitude for it and I work fucking really hard, they keep turning up. And I'm humbled and grateful to God and blown away with gratitude. Do you still continue with your goals? Is it something that you could still, it's still a big part of what you do?
Yeah, definitely. As of 6 months ago, my only remaining goal in athletics in my career in sport was to win an Olympic medal, and I've done that now, and I've actually came back from the Olympic Games, and it's almost a bit like, what do we do now? Who knows? And now the dust has started to settle a little bit. I can't help but think about, we lost a gold medal by 1,000th of a second, and the Paris Olympics is 3 years away now. And that suddenly now became my next goal. There's nothing more I can do in my athletics career than win an Olympic gold medal, and we lost it by 100th of a second. And I know for a fact that in 3 years' time, I can be part of an Olympic gold medal winning team in Paris. So although I probably would have retired next year in 2022, there's no way I'm doing that now, and I've set new goals already, and I've already made my mind that I'm going to go for another Olympic Games. Fucking amazing.
Have you read The Secret?
I have, yeah, I read that. I read Secret and watched the documentary way back in 2011.
Oh, so before it was really mainstream then, huh?
Yeah, I read it in 2011. I remember I was, at the time I was down in London. I just made the move to go and train with Olympic Christie.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a penny. I'd achieved things as a junior, but it doesn't mean nothing. I didn't have a penny in my pocket. I didn't have a pot to piss. I had nothing at all. Just my legs, just my heart, just this resilient mind that was never going to give up, and just the belief that I would achieve things. And I remember watching it down there in 2011 with my friend Richard Strachan, who was an athlete at the time, a great athlete. And I watched the documentary. We bought it on a DVD at the time, watched the documentary, and then I brought the book. And funnily enough, that was the year where I really stepped up a lot, 2012. And I've watched the documentary about 3 times. I've read the book twice now. And it's not something that I read all the time, but sometimes I'll go back and pick parts out of it and still use it. But yeah, I read that way back in 2011, 10 years ago.
What's more important, do you feel, in business, in sport, in art, in movies? And what will you teach your son Rich? What will you teach him? Is talent or is hard work, sacrifice, commitment? Which one's the most important to reach the elite level in anything?
Well, the mental aspect, that, like you said, the talent, the hard work, dedication, discipline, belief, that's all. The reason it's way more important is because you can change that. Now, you can't change talent. You've either got it or if you haven't, now that's irreversible. You can't be born like you're not gonna become a baby again. So whatever you've got physically, that's what you're given. They're the cards you're dealt, right? You can't change them. But you can change your mind, you can change your habits, you can change your discipline, you can change the way you think, how much bottle you've got. They're all things that we can train and develop. So that is more important. So now when my son, even when we're in the house, we'll be in the garden, we'll be running, we'll be playing football, we'll be boxing with each other. And every time I teach him, never give up, never give up. If you want to be a champion, if you want to be the best, never give up. So now, he was with his one of my great friends yesterday, Roman, one of my best friend's sons. And we were at a party, and he was running up and down with Roman, and Roman's 15 now, and he's running, and he's running with Roman, and Roman's just like racing with him, having fun. And he said, "Never give up, Roman, never give up, never give up," because I've already instilled it in him now that, if you want, and I teach him, if he wants presents, he loves Hot Wheels, he loves getting on my PlayStation 5 and buying himself loads of games and stuff. He's almost 5 now. And I always tell him, if you want the rewards, Richie, we've got to work hard. You've got to be a champion. And if you want to be a champion, you can never give up. And you always have to believe that you're the best. So I'm already ingraining them things in him for now. And, he might not want to become a professional sports person. He may not be able to, but one thing's for sure, that the things I've learned through sport, I'll definitely teach him and ingrain them into him so that he can become the best man he can be in whatever route he takes in life.
Yeah. So, because I think, for any faults anybody has in life, and the environments that we grew up in, my uncle Kevin, your dad, he was fucking brilliant with taking you across the country and committed a bit to helping you in your journey. I don't know how close you are to your brothers and sisters and your mum Mel. How important, and you see how proud they have you. How important is it for you to give back to them and to sort of reckon? I know how grateful you are.
Yeah, definitely. They've done a lot for me. I'd never be where I am today without my parents. Both parents, although they had a lot of struggles and personal problems together, they tried to do everything they can to give me the best opportunity to be where I am today. So definitely you've got to be grateful no matter what to your parents, because no matter what the situation, without your parents you'd never be here today. And I definitely learned a lot of life lessons from your parents growing up.
Yeah. Well, so for Middlesbrough alone, because I know Middlesbrough, Teesside, Stockton, Teesside as a whole, right? I know how much it means to you and how grateful you are, because you get some fucking serious support, people. I've been out with you socially and people stop, can I get a picture? Is that Rich? Do you mind if you ask me to take this picture? And I'm so proud. What do the people at Teesside mean to you?
Oh, they mean the world. I mean, when I was at the Olympics, we all of my teammates joke, there's going to be, when you get back to Teesside, they call me like the king of Teesside, because they know they've seen the amount of support I get locally from everyone at home. And I think Teesside's it's a very tight community, isn't it? And whatever we've got, we're proud of it and we cherish. And I'm very, very proud to be someone who's just a normal Teessider, who's out inspiring my own people. So that means the world. And since I've got back, I'll be going shopping, I'll be just walking through the town. Everywhere I'm going, everyone's saying well done. The kids are getting pictures. They're all telling me how much I inspired them. It's so humbling to think that just what I do, which is just running on the track, is inspiring people. And sometimes you don't realise, and it's humbled me so much. And I'm so proud coming home and receiving the welcome that everyone's given me. It's been absolutely incredible. So just a massive thanks to everyone for the big welcome I've had, and all the support throughout the years, and especially since coming home. It's been amazing.
So your colleagues or your teammates, they actually noticed how fanatical the Teessiders are and how much support you get?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we actually had the Great City Games in Stockton last September. So a lot of them from all around the world came to Teesside and they've seen how much it meant to the people when I got introduced to the crowd. And they see all the support on social media and things like that. So yeah, they all know, all my teammates, they all know how much Teesside means to me and how much I mean to Teesside.
Yeah, superb. That's good. That's nice. And a bit of a civil war in Teesside, because on social I put a few posts out there, and you get all the Winnie Banks lads who are my pals and family friends, and they're saying it's the Winnie Banks whirlwind. It's not unheard of. And then you get a couple of Stockton lads, all good crack, all good banter. So we're getting quite territorial now on your nickname as well, which is just shows how proud people are of you, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and sometimes it's difficult to get on social media and reply to everyone. But I do see all the comments. I've seen like literally the thousands and thousands of messages and support and comments and shares that everyone's put out on Instagram, Facebook. It means the absolute world to me. Just lifts you up that bit more, and puts that spring in your step. So yeah, it seems to be, and I've seen a lot on the comments, and my friends will send me them through. Some people are saying, "Oh, he's from Stockton. He's a Stockton lad." "Oh no, he was born in Winnie." There's always the argument of who's claiming me. And actually, randomly, I went to school in Billingham. I barely lived there. I only lived there for about a year or two of my life. But to put it in a simple context, I am a Teessider. I was born in Winnie and lived there till I was 5, and then I was raised in Stockton. So, yeah,
we're all Teesside, right? We're all put around with.
Yeah, so I'll embrace the both names, the Winnie Banks Whirlwind and the Teesside Tornado.
There we go. So, do you feel like you represent the estate kids? Do you feel like you're like a symbol or someone to say, "I'm from the estate kids"? And what would your advice be to any estate kids who would listen or watch this on YouTube and go, "Well, I'm a good footballer," or "I'm a good musician"? Because I'm from here and we're not from an affluent area, an affluent background. What would your advice be to a young kid off the estate to say, "You can fucking make this if you work hard and sacrifice"?
Well, I see so much talent on the estates. A lot of my friends still live on the council estates. Right. A lot of family do, and some of those kids are so talented, so gifted. They've got the edge, they've got the energy, they've got that raw, they've got that bit of dog in them where they want to succeed. And you see some of the kids, and it just reminds me of what I was like, just a little tearaway kid with loads of energy, big dreams, and a lot, that no matter what set of circumstances, you can be, the master of your own life. You write your script. Don't listen to anybody else. You write your own life. You write your own script, and dance to your own tune, because you ultimately, any action that you want to take, no one's stopping you. If there's any kid who's got a dream to set up his own business or to become an Olympic sprinter or a Premiership footballer, there's nobody who's going to stand in front of you and say, "Stop, you can't do this." You're from a councillor to say, "Stop, you can't do this." Your parents are unemployed. That doesn't mean nothing, because no one is going to stand there and block you from your dreams. The only person that's going to block you is yourself and your mind. So get them cleared and just absolutely rip through everything that you want to do, because the sky's the limit.
Definitely, yeah. Who's your reason why, or what's your reason why you do what you do?
The reason why I do what I do initially, the reason I done what I want to do was because, one, I fell in love with the Olympic Games. I always wanted to be on TV. I wanted to become an Olympian. Watching the Olympic Games made me fall in love with it. I always knew from being a young kid. I remember when we were in school and I was 6, and I remember it like yesterday. I was in Middle Lane School. I've just started the school in Stockton when we moved from Winnie Banks into Stockton. And we were in English class in primary school. And our teacher said, "Right, everybody, I want you to all put your hand up and think of a different word for movement." So she gave us a heads up. She said, "Right, so the way we move ourselves, we can run." And we said, "Yeah, we can walk." And then you had to put your hands up, and another kid said, "Jog." Another kid said, "Stroll." And I put my hand up and I said, "Sprint." And I had no idea then that was what I was going to do, become a world champion sprinter. Yeah. And they're things like speaking into existence. So, it's just, there were the things that motivated me to, one was fall in love with the sport. 2 was wanting to change my life for the better. I didn't want to have a normal life. I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to make good money. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to do all these amazing things. And I knew if I wanted to do that, athletics was going to be the way I was going to do it.
Yeah, cool. Well, when you like local races, whether it be a school race, local stadiums in Teesside, and then regional meets, were you visualising at that point, like, actually this is an Olympics or this is World Champions? Were you that strong with your visualisation? And were you as nervous for them as what you were at the Olympics? Just a crazy question, I don't know.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I wasn't thinking this is the Olympics. I just used to want to beat everybody who was stood on the start line with me. I would just want to win. I just was so competitive. No matter what, I'm a very competitive person, whether it's, a pub quiz or an Olympic Games relay sprint final or a world championship final. For me, I want to win just as much. And that's always been something I've always been very competitive.
Yeah.
So I didn't approach the race and think this was the Olympics, but one thing I did know is that if I wanted to go to the Olympics and wanted to become one of the best in the world, that these were stepping stones. So if I wasn't good enough to win this race, how the hell am I going to go and represent my country and be one of the fastest men in the country? Then if I represent my country, if I couldn't win that race, then how was I going to represent the country and become one of the best in the world? So they were all stepping stones. So I knew no matter what, these were all different stages of me getting to where I wanted to be. So I've got to win that, right? What's next? Got to win that. What's next? So I knew that. And what was the other one there, Lee? You said,
the nerves that, well, listen, I'm a human nerves.
Yeah.
Does an Olympian, an Olympic silver medalist and world champion playing football or even sales, I'd go in, big mate, and I get them butterflies, which I think is all my affirmations building up, ready to either overcome me, the nerves, or I can control them and win. Did you get them same nervous feelings at both races?
All the time. Anyone that says you don't get nervous or you don't feel the adrenaline, then it doesn't mean that much to you then. If you don't get nervous or you don't get adrenaline or you don't get some form of feeling when it really comes down to what matters, then that doesn't mean that much to you then, because this means the world to me. When I'm stood on the start line and when I was stood on the World Championship start line as a 66-1 underdog, was not a penny, nothing. Of course I was nervous, because this was the moment that I can completely change my life forever. This is as big as it gets. And I had the adrenaline. My legs would go like jelly. You have the butterflies, everything. But one thing that I've learned to do is I've learned to use them. So when that natural thing comes on and it switches on, you feel the nerves. I do breathing exercises, I do mental exercise, and I just accept, all right, I'm nervous, I've got adrenaline, I've got the butterflies, but that's just natural. I'm going to have them. And I just think, well, they're there, I'll accept them. What am I going to do now? I'm going to go out and win. I'm going to go out and do my best. And everyone gets them. It's just how you manage them. We're all get them. Accept that you're going to get them if it's something that means so much to you. But when you do get them, think, right, I'm not going to let them defeat me. I'm going to use the adrenaline. I'm going to use the butterflies. And I'm going to let it fill me up with power, with speed, with confidence. And that's actually a sign of me thinking, right, boom, the engine switched on now. It's time to go, dialed in.
Brilliant. What about your wife, Dovey, and your son, Richie? What have they added to you? Because I can see the change in you as a man. And what do they mean to you, Rich?
Yeah, before I met my wife, I think my goals and my motivation were all very selfish ones, which meant, I wanted it all for me. I wanted to achieve what I always wanted to achieve from a kid. And for the most part, I'd done that. And then when I met my wife, I was already very, very successful as an athlete. I was world and European champion, Commonwealth Games medalist. I was already very successful at the time. And then when I met my wife and got married, and she gave birth to my son, Richard Jr., then suddenly the motivation becomes, right, well, I've got to be successful because I need to continue to provide for my family, need to make them proud. So suddenly the goal remains the same, but the motivation switches. And that's something we always do, because every time you achieve something, right, you've done it, you might want more, but suddenly you might have to slightly change the route of where your energy comes from. And I think that's great. It's refreshing that you can actually have a new motivation or a new area of where you can seek your strength and your energy and everything that you're going to channel into your goals.
Yeah, definitely. God's he's always preparing us for what's coming next, right? And everything is leading to destiny. Next year is a massive year for you, Rich, right?
What's that?
Next year is a massive year for you.
Next year is a massive year. We've got the World Indoor Championships, we've got the European Championships, we've got the Commonwealth Games Championships at home in Birmingham, and we've got the World Championships in Eugene in Oregon. So it's a massive, massive, massive year. And although this year was a massive success, you know, achieving the ultimate winning Olympic Games medal, the show goes on, and you're either on the you either go with it or you get left behind. So I've had a month now of celebrations. We had a great party celebrating a couple of weeks ago, which you and all of my closest friends and family came to. That was absolutely amazing. I went on holiday with some of my really good friends last week, and it's about now. It's starting to get to that time where I've got to get back in the game and get everything in order, because time waits for nobody. And if you don't do it now, someone's gonna. And it's time to get back in the game now. Get back on winter training, running up the hills, lifting heavy weights, running around the track on the grass, up the sand dunes, all of that. It's about time to get back into it now, because I've already set my goals for next year, and I'm ready to get stuck in.
Do you mind sharing them?
Yeah, next year I definitely want to. I'd love to win a medal in the World Indoor Championships. I'd love to run. Ultimately, I'd love to run personal bests definitely in the 100 meters and the 200 meters. Ultimately, I want to win a medal in the European Championships, World Championships, and the Commonwealth Games, and for sure in the World Championships. I'd love for us to get together and beat the Italians. We lost that global title. For us, the Olympic title and the World Championships, it's a global title. And we'd love to go out there and get revenge and win a gold medal next year in the World Championships and beat the Italians and the rest of the world, and knock that European record down even further.
Yeah. Maybe just very quickly before we go, it's been fucking amazing. I'm fascinated. I'm so engrossed. You're going to help so many people. And it's wonderful for people to get to know you and the really decent man you are. It's inspirational. The first one, Usain Bolt. Did you ever meet him?
Yeah, I raced against him quite a few times, actually. The first one and the most memorable one was in the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Yeah. I ran the third leg. Bolt ran the fourth leg for Jamaica, and I handed the baton over in first position to Danny Talbot. It was an amazing athlete, and then Bolt was the last leg runner, and I remember Bolt running an amazing leg. So did Danny, and Bolt just overtook Danny right at the end. Yeah. And just one thing which was just stood out was how big and how long his stride was. You know, you don't realise till you actually stand next to him how tall he is. Absolute giant. And then afterwards, standing on the podium with him, we were getting our medal, and he was just a few pictures on my Instagram further down where he's while we're stood there posing with our medal on the silver, he photo bombs us in the back. I'll send you through the picture. You might be right up on the podcast there. Yeah. So that was all some amazing memories. Obviously, he's the greatest athlete of all time. So it was definitely special to compete against him.
Is he like a bag of energy and so relaxed? And is that him all the time?
Yeah. From what I've seen, he's just always very laid back, very humble, but very, very confident. And he just loses that class. He's the fastest man in history, greatest athlete of all time. You can't really say no more.
Great. And then obviously the podcast called Little Bricks. What's the 3 key characteristics do you believe to be success in life? 3 things. 3 little bricks.
3 little bricks is goal setting. Because if you don't set your goals, you're going to go around in loops. You don't even know what you go for. So set your goals. Believe in yourself. So that in that belief, that does include visualization. Imagine yourself doing it and being relentless. Yeah. So, dream big, set your goals. Belief and being relentless, never giving up. Them 3 things you'll always get yourself there, because if you're clear on what your goals are, that's what I'm getting. Do I believe I can do it? Yes. As part of that journey, if you're believing in yourself, but you have a few shortcomings, then that's where being relentless, getting back up, never giving up, going again, eventually you'll get there. And that's three big keys to success, in my opinion.
Yeah, amazing, mate. Listen, I want to say thank you so much. I'm so proud of you as a cousin, but as a mate, you're a wonderful man. You've got a